My name is Makantoni Obumneme Osuchuku. I'm from Abia State. I'm a creative. I write, I direct, and I run a book club as well. I'm 28 years of age. A man's first role in the society is to be firm, to be in charge, and look for solutions to his existential problems, like men have done from time immemorial, building roads, advancing technology, basically trying to make the world a better place. So it is the role of a man to set the pace, to lead, to be in front, and then, women and children follow behind. My views on marriage from the standpoint of a man who is married now, I think it is a very, very, it's a beautiful adventure if you know why you're going into it. Igbo people say, if a qualifier could be, at once something stands, something must stand by the side of it. For the sake of continuity, self-preservation is the first rule of nature. Marriage is important. A man has to get married, and Igbo people, my ancestors, my forebears, some people argue that we used to marry girls at 12, at 13. But I asked the question the other day to my grandmother who lived to 111 years. And she said that the modus operandi is this. From 12 to 13, you are betrothed to a man. From the moment you start menstruating, you are betrothed to a man. You know that this man is your husband. And after that, the betrothal ceremony, you go to live with the man's wife for izu ato. That is 4 days times 3. You live with her, and depending on how you are close with her, it can grow from that izu ato to 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But the most important thing is you are handed over to an older matriarch who is in turn giving you her son. So you are going under her tutelage to learn how to assume the position of wifehood. 1. 2, you are also at that age, that is when puberty and the urge for sex and all that. But when you are betrothed at that age, your urge, your everything is directed. There's a trajectory it's following, and it cannot derail. The reason it cannot derail is because the betrothal ceremony, everybody, your family and the family of the girl has agreed that this is our daughter, and you go marry her. You, the man, you know that you are not going to do anything like sex because your mother will be there, her own mother will be there. Everybody go mount you guard, make you no go, until the girl now says, man, I'm ready. That she is ready to go and consummate this union. Like she's ready to consummate this union that she has been in. She has been growing in, because motherhood is not, or wifehood is not something that you just become. You grow into it. So that older matriarch is in your life, teaching you how to take care of this man who is her son and who is going to be your husband. Because as a wife, you become the mother of the man. I'm talking about my culture. I don't think marriage is 50-50. Marriage cannot be 50-50 because Igbo people believe in to everyone his duty or her duty. The role of a man, the man's office, the office of a husband, your job description is to provide for your wife, your children, shelter, clothing, feeding, every other miscellaneous. That is your duty. And in turn, her duty is to nurture your children in the ideals you both agreed on. The act or the process of nurturing is not a destination, it's a journey. You don't ever get to a point and say, I don't train Peking finish. No, it's a journey. Once you're alive and your Peking is alive, it's a continuous advice here, advice there. We believe in akanni kwake bake bakwakanni. this hand has to watch this hand, and in turn, this hand watches this hand. So the man provides financially, his wife provides and attends to the domestic needs of the children and her husband. All these things are subjective because of different economic realities of families. But ideally, I'm talking ideally, a man is to be outside grinding while the woman is taking care of the children and in turn herself too. A career woman that is chasing her career, where is she chasing her career to? As a woman, your greatest satisfaction is not that career, because I know women who get to the apogee of their careers and did not marry for a very, 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 very long time, chasing their dreams, making money, doing this, doing that, doing that, doing that. They get to a point in their life, loneliness, the reality of their feminine existence will hit them on the face. And, you know, as a black woman, unmarried, will you go and buy cat or dog? Instead, will you rather have a cat or a dog other than a child, children who you bought from your, you know. So I feel a career woman, you have to choose, because there are no gray areas. You cannot career your way as a mother. There will be loopholes. I always say this thing. This new definition of things, and it has disrupted the order of society. Nobody can talk me out of it. A man, you chase money, your wife attends to the house. If your wife is chasing money with you, your children will become nuisance. That is why small things, 16-year-old girl don't they do runs. 16-year-old boy don't they do yahoo. Why? Mama no dey house, mama they pursue money, mama they pursue money, papa they pursue money. No home training, nothing. No morals. The streets will give you the orientation, and the orientation is always chaos. So I feel if our generation will have to correct the mistake, women have to go back to their traditional roles, as a matter of fact. There's a certain age a woman should be married. Ndị Igbo na-asị na oge nwaanyị na-aga aga. A man's life starts when he makes money. A man that makes money at 40 years can go and marry a 19-year-old model, and nobody will do anything about it. You can only talk on Twitter, you cannot touch him. But a woman at 40 years, you cannot, there's little you can do. There's a time a woman gets to, if she's not married. So, all right, sure.
As someone who has been on both sides of the coin, as I was once jobless and alone, I have met a man who felt I lacked ambition because I did not have my life figured out at 26 years. I look back now and I laugh so hard. I think we all go through that phase where we are unsure, especially when things do not go as we had planned. Life throws you a curveball and you lose your balance in the ground. Did I also meet men who were ready to marry me? Yes. Was I ready? No. Why? I was not financially independent. I refused to be a liability to myself and to those around me. My financial independence was, is, and will always be non negotiable. To our mothers and aunties, we understand you do this with the best of intentions. As the reality is, we do have biological clocks as women. We know this, we are aware of this, it is in our subconscious. We know science has made life a bit easier, and we also know it is a long and painful process. Being born as a woman feels like there's pressure embedded in our DNA. Do not make it worse for us by constantly reminding us of the things that are not necessarily within our control. Please and thank you.
All right, sure.
Hi, Mark Anthony.
Hello, Yewande.
Oh, nice to meet you. So, what's your take on Nigeria today and financial stability of millennials? So, when I say millennials, I'm speaking from 28 to say 35. Yes.
The the economic conditions of millennials in Nigeria today, it cannot get better, right? Because we've watched the economy from childhood; it has never improved, right? So we don't have a promise of a better economy, right? So your financial reality today may be better than your financial reality in the next 5 years. you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
I do.
in that way, I think men who can take care of themselves, pay house rent, take care of a woman. By taking care, I don't mean carrying her to vacations abroad. I'm talking about the basics. Ndi Igbo na-asị agụọ one, agụọ two. You start from somewhere, right? So if the woman is willing to start small, 3 square meal, 2 square meal sometimes. Me, for my house, you get when we chop 101 and person no die, right? But it gets better. We can always hope. So if you're saying, chai, things no good this year, next year things go day worse. Bag of rice go come up from 45, enter 60. So now when you dey 45, why not enter the marriage? Start small. Small by small, you grow, and it gets better.
Do you think that being where we are today in this country is maybe one of the reasons women are also trying to have a career, or they are also pushing a career apart from what they want for themselves personally, but also to support their family?
I understand that bit. That's, because of the financial harshness, a woman has to, but at the end of the day, see, I've been a man all my life. Women, first of all, women need agree say they get money, right? So a woman will make all that money and she'll still be in the house. Her husband will do this, do that, do everything with the money which she don't make. I don't see career women where even with them and their career and their money, their husband, now still they do everything. Do you understand? So the part about career women and marriage is not mostly about a woman being a helping hand financially. Because some women will still make the money and the man will still do everything. So how about that?
I heard you when you said back, you asked your grandmother and she said, oh, years ago or in their own time, when a girl hits puberty, 12, 13, then yeah, she's betrothed to someone. You're married, right?
Yes,
Do
I
you
am.
have a daughter?
I have a son.
You have a son. If you had a daughter today, and at the age of 12, and a man, like a 35 or 40-year-old man, comes to ask for her hand in marriage, how would you feel about that?
35
Yes.
to come and ask for my
Daughter's hand in marriage.
that is 12.
Yes. Because you did accept I misunderstood you, but you did say, oh, yes, then she would have to go to their house where his mom would teach him. And the perception I got from that was that it was an older man. Maybe not up to 35, but it was an older man, because now it's a traditional setting. Or back then it was a traditional setting where education and all of that had not really come into the limelight. But as it is right now, if someone had come to ask for your 12-year-old daughter's hand in marriage, what would be your reaction?
Nobody will. Nobody will come and ask for my 12-year-old daughter's hand in marriage.
What has changed?
What has changed? How? I told you what my grandma said. And the conversation, the context of what I said was the grooming, the process, the direction of a young girl's sexual urge, ensuring that it does not spill and promiscuity takes over. Directing the trajectory of her life from that age up until she's ready to consummate. Now she go use her mouth say, "Man, I want to know this man I am marrying." If she's 16, if she's 17, and guess what? Ancient Igbo people, what they did is, if a man and woman gets married, the first thing they do is to grow their yam barn together. Do you understand? Because children are coming. They have to ensure that waiting children go chop day. So together, 1 year, it can take 1 year or 2 years. Then when the barn don't set, the next thing is coitus. So
Okay.
there is another. It doesn't mean that she gets married by 13 years and by 14 she's having sex. No, it doesn't work that way. Because the economy is bad does not mean that the woman does not have a time. Like I said earlier, and I will reiterate, okay, wine agaga. Because the peak, the apogee of femininity is being a mother. And if you stay single we, and that time comes, that is what doctors call menopause, then there's nothing like child for you again. You live with that emptiness. No matter how you want to, no matter how you want to sugarcoat, financial independence and all that, a woman will get to a point in her life and she will need, there's a warmth that money cannot give you. There's a comfort that money cannot give you.
Okay, so when you say a woman is supposed to be married at 25, yes, you may be right. Yes, if she's emotionally ready, you're saying that financial readiness may not necessarily be a requirement for her because, yes, there's a biological clock ticking, and then because procreation has to happen. But you say it's like, oh, all a woman has to do in this life is come into the world and start popping babies.
Is that
that is what
you understood?
Yes, that was my own understanding of it. Like, oh, procreation, biological clock, how she has to come and start taking care of the family, taking care of her husband and her kids. She has to nurture. A woman is nurturing, and that is all I hear. How she has to keep being a service to her family, to the society, but not to herself. At no point did you talk about what she may want out of life. What makes her happy? Do you think that 100% of the women who are married today are happy in their marriages? Do you think that all of our mothers, let's even forget about our generation, because we can say, oh, our generation, our idea of marriage and relationships is completely different from how our parents viewed it. And that has kind of destabilized a lot of things. And that is why you see a lot of marriages crashing today. Do you think even our mothers were 100% happy in their marriages? Do you know if, as a woman, I also have my own dreams, my own aspirations? I did not say I do not want to have a family, but I do not believe that me having a family should be a hindrance to what I want out of life. And because I say my financial independence is important to me,
At
does
what
not
point
make me.
do you become financially independent? How much will you see in your account now? You tell yourself, Chai, you one day independence on the one you.
At the point where I can take care of myself how I want to be taken care of.
The conversation surrounding biological clock, it doesn't come from a place of spite. It doesn't
Of
come
course,
from
it
it doesn't come
doesn't.
from a place of
It's
vindictiveness.
the
It comes
reality.
from a place of care. Those aunties that tell you half. Do you know
How
that
many of them are happily married? How many of them are even in marriages today? How many of them have their husbands sent out of their houses knowing that they have no dime to their name and they cannot? So I saw a lot of I did see a lot of aunties growing up staying in marriages, not because they wanted to be in that marriage, but because they did not have a way out. Financially or otherwise, there was no way out. It is, I'm Yoruba, and I think it's the Nigerian thing. For us, for our parents, for a lot of our parents and their parents, it's a thing that, oh, your society ostracizes you when you leave your marital home, regardless of what you're going through, regardless of the violence. Even if you give him, if he says, I want pap, and you give him the pap, and because he's just in a bad mood, he pulls the pap away and slaps you, they will tell you to endure.
No, the bit about enduring is toxic, right? I always like to come from the standpoint of the Igbo culture. In Igbo culture, when I went to pay the dowry of my wife, the first visit, my in-law called me and called his wife and called his daughter and told me that he has never beaten his daughter. That he has never, ever beaten his daughter. Not because she has not done something that warrants beating, but that his wife will do the beating. And the reason he's telling me this is, since he did not beat, I will not touch his wife. I should not touch his daughter. Say, make I no try. Right? In our culture, if a woman leaves her husband's house on an Unko market day, it means finality. So there's nothing like there's no way out. Bah. If your husband slaps you on an Eke market day, you have 3 more days to decide that you're leaving this nonsense. So if you decide to stay for reasons best known to you, your decision should not be aggregated into statistics of women who are not happy in marriage, because happiness is relative. And happiness is not a destination. It is a journey. So I always like to remind women that at the nucleus of their existence, at the very, 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 very center of their existence, the gratification, the feminine gratification, will always, always, always involve being a mother, motherhood.
Do you think she does not know she has a biological clock? Do you genuinely think that she does not remember that she has a biological clock? Or she doesn't know that she's born with a certain number of egg cells that cannot increase? It increases. Do you think she does not know that half of her eggs are going to decrease by the age of 35? She loses 50% of it. Do you think she doesn't know that?
So, Yewande, you have to understand that the reason why it feels like women are held to higher standards is because everybody that has walked the earth came through a woman. So women are that powerful and important. So their roles should not be gambled or thrown away in the altar of economic freedom or liberty. But if you have personal reasons and your beliefs that do not align with nature's, I won't police you. Do your stuff.
I would say that regardless of societal norms or pressure, yes, a woman knows that there is a biological clock. She remembers it every day when she wakes up. It's ticking, it's there, it's ticking. But do not be pushed by societal pressure into making wrong decisions that will cost you a life filled with so much bitterness and resentment. So I'll say, regardless of the societal pressure that women go through, just do you. Do what makes you happy. Yes, there is a biological clock, but do not be rushed into things that will cost you your life or make you unhappy for the rest of your life simply because you are trying to make other people happy but not yourself.